Recently, I released a video about this mini project called Feelin Lucky, where I attempted to make a game about cowboys in a very short amount of time. Hey, quick note during this edit, yeah, when I said recently, I actually recorded this bit about 3 months ago, got a little distracted, whoops. Anyway, if you haven't seen the last video, check the info tab or description and then enjoy this one. And the idea was definitely there, but the execution was less than ideal. I wanted to release that video before I went on a trip to Poland, which was lovely by the way, and rushing the project caused me to cut a whole load of corners while doing so. And the project was rather well received, so I think it deserves a bit more love. So what I'm going to do is go through all the problems this game has, see if I can fix them, and then hopefully once I'm done, I've got a completed game to release. So let's get started. So as soon as the game loads in, you're on this screen here. There's really nothing going on. The UI in the top left and top right doesn't really tell you much. This draw button doesn't look very good. The cylinder, I placed it off to the side, which I'm not too sure on. If you click on the bullets, you've got the information panel, but it really is as basic as that. It's not very helpful at all. These are all different rounds in the bandolier, but looking at them, you wouldn't be able to tell. But if you go ahead and load them into the cylinder, the sorting is also out of place. I don't know what's going on here. I'm not even looking at which order they go in, just loading them randomly. And the round starts. It plays through the events, through the rounds, and they draw. That animation is just amazing. I don't even know what's going on there. And eventually, you can see at the top, they are taking damage. Blobbo the Blobber here is down to 2 health. And when you go back to the reloading screen, the cylinder looks full, but these bullets here aren't actually loaded. Just go ahead and rattle them back in and fire again. And as you'll see, Blobbo, bang, he goes down. But the round isn't actually over. I'm still getting hit, and then I go down. So clearly there's issues here. Right, so here's what I've got. No UI, lack of information, lack of bullet types, no player feedback, no bullet visuals, messy game flow, bad animation transitions, no menus, no shop, lack of enemy types, etc, etc, etc. So that is a lot in such a short amount of time. So I need to be smart with this, and not just dive in randomly like I did the first time. So I'm going to plan out how I'm going to tackle each issue, starting with the code problems I've got. How it's currently set up is basically every class has an event that just tells the next one to go, and it doesn't always make sense. So what I need to do is break down each stage of the game, make sure individually they're all structured correctly, and then shuffle the events about a bit so they make a bit more sense. When the game starts, the opponent has a bandolier that loads bullets randomly and works correctly. However, the players was just giving out predetermined rounds. So to fix this, I need to break apart the code and make the bandolier system function the same as it does on the opponent. With that, the player could actually select and improve their arsenal. For the UI, I just need to make a nice looking material I can reuse for every element. Basically everything in a western is brown or silver with metal and leather everywhere, so that's the colour palette I'll go for. To make sure the player understands what each bullet does, I need to make sure the descriptions are displayed correctly when you select a round. I already had the pop-up sorted, but it looks awful and has a lack of info, so I'll go ahead and design a brand new pop-up that gives the player everything they need to know. The bullets use the same texture as every other model in the game, which stops me from customizing them how I like. So instead, I need to import the model into Blender, unwrap the UVs, and do the texturing myself. Doing this, I can also create different models for the rounds, like a pointed round for the piercing effect, all based on the original model. The whole idea of the game was that when you defeat an opponent, you go to the shop to buy new rounds. But I never got to actually design the shop system at all, so that is going to be a huge chunk of the development this time around. Each duel is going to reward the player with some money from the opponent's bounty, with stronger opponents offering higher rewards, but taking a whole lot more to kill. When a player reaches the shop, they are granted the options to purchase new bullets, add modifiers to their existing bullets, and upgrade their equipment. So adding new bullets shouldn't be too hard, just randomly generate bullet types, and add it to the bandolier. Modifying bullets is easy as well, I just need to add a function to upgrade them. But the equipment system doesn't exist at all, so that's going to take a while. But how I see it is your gun can be improved to grant bonuses while attacking, and your armor can be upgraded to reduce damage, depending on the type of bullet hitting you. Once the player leaves the shop, they'll be taken to the bounty board to choose a new opponent, with some basic information and their reward, to give the player a choice in who they face. This doesn't exist at all, so again, it needs to be added. A key feature that roguelikes have is the ability to unlock new equipment to be found in future runs, which is usually tied to some achievement system. These can be granted by beating each type of opponent, only loading a single round, dealing a certain amount of damage, and so on. This system will be something to look at once the rest of the game is complete, but it's definitely something I want to be included in the final product. And so that is everything wrong with this game currently, and the basic idea I've got to improve each one. So I'm going to go ahead and jump to some time in the future where all of this is magically sorted.
So much later that the old narrator got tired of waiting and they had to hire a new one.
Okay, so yeah, I completely abandoned this project for a while, didn't I? Whoops. But I thought I didn't want to let it die completely. So I've been working on it for a little while to get it to a demo, prototype, showcase sort of level. There's still loads of stuff missing that I foolishly thought I could get done. But hey, if this was unexpected to you, you clearly haven't seen the rest of my content. So what's new in this version of the game? The first thing I did was completely upgrade the set by just using the other Sinti demo scene and moving a few things about. They're now dueling on a street instead of whatever the last thing was. This place looks so much nicer, and to make everything look as good as possible, I've been playing around with Cinemachine volume settings. If I toggle this on and off, you can see the difference. I really like it with lots of bloom, saturation, and depth of field. It really suits the low poly models. For the bullets, the original issue was that you couldn't tell what effect they had because they all looked the same. So what I did was took them into Blender, separated the bullet from everything else, unwrapped the UVs, and made my own texture template. Then finally designed these with simple pixel art. Most of the bullets use the same model, however for the piercing round I did create a new version that's just more pointed, just to give it that extra detail. And here's what they all look like in game. They're very basic and not the best looking, but they get the job done, and that's the main thing. When the player or opponent died, literally nothing would happen, and the game would continue on as normal, which is not quite what I wanted. So I got to work adding the two branches for the end of the duel, being if you win or you die. As I said in the last video, if you win, you go onto the store to upgrade your gear between rounds, and if you die, you die. For the death screen, I set up a little area in the corner of the map with a death cam facing your grave. After playing around with volumes, I got a nice looking black and white screen with a canvas to fade in the transition. If Unity could add fade transitions to the Cinemachine cameras, that would just be great. So you see this scene, some somber music plays, and you can restart the game from here. If you win the game, you go to the store, and to achieve this, I was playing around with Cinemachine dollies and tracks. By placing a track down, you can smoothly guide a camera along its path with a simple value. And so, with an animator that triggers when the camera goes live, this transition was very easy. I then just animated the camera to rotate along the path, and it's all done. Once you get into the store, the bullets are rolled out in front of you for you to choose from. Just click on them to purchase, and when you're ready, it's time to head back out to the street for another duel. Another dolly cam is used to bring you to the bounty board where you can choose your next opponent, and from there, it fades to the duel and starts it all over again. Overall, this project had the idea, but ultimately I just didn't enjoy making it as much as I thought I would, and other things got in the way. But I didn't want to completely abandon it, so I got it to a state that somewhat makes sense, but that's where it's going to stay. RIP to Feelin Lucky. Sorry if this is disappointing to you, but my favourite hobby is dropping projects to start new ones aimlessly, something that my brain enjoys, I don't know. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like down below and let me know your thoughts on this project, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.